I know that you've seen people do pot pies with those store-bought biscuits for the topping. Well, today I'm going to be doing a twist on those biscuits.
You're watching the Bear Pantry Show.
Why, guys? Because I don't like those biscuits. They're always so salty and so fleshy in the middle. But before we make the biscuits, let's take care of the filling. I have 2 pieces of boneless, skinless breast here that I've rinsed off with distilled white vinegar and water. And I'm just going to go ahead and cut both pieces up into bite-sized pieces. I want the pieces to be small enough to fit inside the ramekin. This is the second piece of breast. Let's get this out the way. And then clean off my counter. I'm going to season this with just pink Himalayan sea salt and white pepper. The reason I'm using white pepper is because traditionally the filling inside pot pies, Belizean black fruit cake, stewed oxtails, warm Creole bread, simply the best Belizean dishes you can make at home. Watch, just add flour, baking powder, and milk in a small bowl, mix, roll flat, then deep fry for a fry jack that is so versatile that it goes perfect with everything. Start the day off right with my simple Belizean Johnny cakes that can be made in the oven or air fryer. All these recipes can be found in my Belizean cookbook Beans and Rice Volume 2. Get a copy today only at www.bearpantryshow.com. Shop safely and securely at www.bearpantryshow.com. Always white, right? Because of the heavy cream. Get some of the pepper here. And then let's move over to the stove. I put half a tablespoon of avocado oil in my skillet. And now I'm just going to go ahead and smear it around because I'm trying to use less oil. Put the pieces in. And then we're going to saute these until they get some color. Okay. They're not going to get a whole bunch of color because we don't have any ricotta or paprika on it. Now let's take care of the vegetables. So I put a tablespoon of avocado oil in this other skillet. And I have some chopped up yellow onions here. Some red, yellow, orange peppers, meaning all 3. I don't like to use green bell peppers. And I have jalapeno on my board, but I'll put that in a little while. Put the fire on. And then I've decided that I want to put some mushrooms in here because I have a few left. And if I don't use them, they're going to go bad. So I have about 3 large mushrooms here that I'm chopping up into small pieces. And then we're going to add it to the pot. And then we're just going to saute this. I'm adding some all-purpose white flour. I've already added some butter in here to make the roux. So now I'm going to go ahead and add some water to deglaze the pan. And then some heavy cream. If you don't want to add water, you could add some type of broth, but I very seldom cook with broth. So this is what it's looking like. Now let's take care of the biscuit. So what I'm doing is taking half of each of these ingredients right here. The salt, the garlic powder, and the parsley. So whatever the serving is, it's supposed to be divided. So this batch is going to go on the top after the biscuits are baked, okay? So here comes the baking powder. I'll put a list of the ingredients below. The remaining salt, the remaining garlic powder, and the remaining parsley. Okay. Now here comes the cold butter. I'm showing you that half of it I've diced small. This is a stick, okay, or half a cup. Because you can dice it small like this to pinch it into the flour, or you can grate it. Okay, I've decided to put everything in a bigger bowl because this bowl is too small. So see, this part of it is grated, but it's still only half a stick of butter. Okay, so pinch it really well into the flour or the dry ingredients. You have to be a little bit patient with it to just pinch it in. Now I'm adding a cup of cheddar cheese. Okay, let's work this all in. And then the only thing left to add now is the milk. And this is just regular whole milk from the, well, this is lactose-free milk actually, guys. Just get this all worked in. And if the milk is not enough, we're just going to add a little bit of water, okay? We want the dough to come a little bit sticky, but not too sticky. Yeah, I feel some dry spots. I'm going to add a little bit of water. Yeah, this is good. I'm just testing it. I'm going to roll it into a ball and flatten it to put on top. One big piece like this. So let's get our ramekins filled. I have 6 ramekins, 2 white, 2 burgundy, and 2 red. And I'm barely having enough, guys. I think if I were to do this again, I would probably make more of the, what do you call that? The batter? The filling part. Not the chicken part, but the filling part. So let's put 1 piece of the biscuit. Here comes another piece. So this amount of dough that I'm putting on top, it's like if you're eating a whole biscuit. We're going to have to factor all of this in for the calories. I'm going to bake these at 375. I'm going to set the timer for like 25 minutes at first because the inside is already cooked. It's just the biscuit that has to cook, right? Look, I had enough to make like 1 large biscuit, but I cut them up into 5 bite-sized pieces on the bottom. They went for 30 minutes. Well, this is 25, and I'm going to put it back in for 5 more minutes. I'm going to take these out because these are done. So I'm going to give it 5 more minutes. So it went for a total of 30 minutes. And I'm glad I put them on this tray because look how they're leaking, right? So now I'll put the rest of the spices that we set aside into some melted butter. And we're going to brush these on the top. I also brushed them on the little pieces of biscuits that I set aside. So time to take a picture and then dive into it. How many calories are in this? I don't know. I still have to go figure it out. But we're going to taste, alright? I don't even care that it doesn't have a bottom. Me personally, I truly prefer for my pot pies to have a bottom, like a pie shell bottom. But this is pretty good and it's still warm, so I'm gonna go sit down and enjoy this.
This is the Beth Pantry Show.
This thing is so good, it makes you want to slap everybody, not just your mama. The outside good, the inside good.